This is 7 National News, and in our top story, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, received a host of Emirati tribe members and distinguished tribal leaders at Zabeel Palace on Saturday, on the advent of the holy month of Ramadan. Members of Emirati tribes and tribal leaders from across the UAE came to congratulate His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and the wise leadership of the country on the occasion. The ruler of Dubai exchanged Ramadan greetings with his guests and shared with them an iftar banquet at the palace. The meeting was also attended by the chairman of the Dubai Culture and Arts Authority, His Highness Sheikh Majid bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Dubai's Director of Protocol and Hospitality, His Excellency Khalifa Saeed Suleiman, as well as a number of sheikhs and other dignitaries. Titled Shaping Tomorrow's Aviation, the Dubai Civil Aviation Authority Strategy 2013-15 has been endorsed and approved by His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum, the President of the DCAA, Chairman of Dubai Airports and Chairman and Chief Executive of Emirates Airline and Group. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed stated that the strategy is an ambitious roadmap that will drive and support the growth of the aviation industry in Dubai, aligned with the Dubai government's strategy and other key stakeholders and players in the industry. The strategic plan covers the 5 main pillars that influence the outcome of the aviation sector. Those include growth, capacity, sustainability, customers, and capability. The aviation sector currently employs more than 5% of the waged workforce in Dubai. Experts say that the multi-billion-dollar expansion of airports in the UAE will ease congestion, especially with more than 1.62 million aircraft movements expected nationwide by 2030. In Dubai, the aviation sector's contribution to Dubai's GDP is expected to reach 165 billion dirhams, equivalent to 32%, up from 28% recorded in 2011. The Trade Centre Bridges project at Zaabeel is now 90% complete, as announced by His Excellency Mata Al Taya, the Chairman of the Board and Executive Director of the Road and Transport Authority. The 719.37 million dirham project is set to open in the second half of November this year, which will see 22 bridges of precast concrete units spanning 4,250 metres and comprising of 2 lanes in each direction. It will also see an additional concrete ramp extending 120 metres to serve the traffic outbound to Al Maktoum Bridge. The Trade Centre Bridges project is the largest phase of the Parallel Roads project, which will link the Western Parallel Road with the Sheikh Rashid bin Saeed Road and Street 312. Arabic is among the fastest growing languages online, with a 2,500% growth in over the past 10 years. Despite this growth and being the official language of more than 20 countries in the MENA region, Arabs don't have an Arabic internet until now. Yasmin Omer, the General Manager of Shabaka Registry, says this is among the many challenges they hope to address. The Australia-based company recently entered an agreement with the global regulator of web addresses, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, on Saturday, and became the world's first new Arabic top-level domain. Through this, Arabic internet users will now have an Arabic online presence and an alternative to non-Arabic internet namespaces such as .com, .net or .org.
It's about ensuring an end-to-end Arabic experience. And TLD is not just targeted towards those that speak multiple language, but to Arabic speakers that just speak Arabic and only Arabic. This means that they'll be able to experience the internet from beginning to end in Arabic. And that means getting a domain name in Arabic, accessing Arabic content, and using everything in Arabic. It's about ensuring there's a level playing field for Arabic-speaking internet users, and that they don't have to use the English language. The English language isn't a prerequisite to accessing the internet and benefiting from all the internet has to offer.
Shabaka is expected to go live by September this year and promises to be one of the largest innovations in the Arab digital landscape. Through this, the company says they are campaigning for a complete Arabic internet experience from start to finish.
The challenges are many. As evidence of that is my business card, for example. Everything is in Arabic here except for the email. We've had to resort to using an English email. That's something that we've had to resort to, and this is just one of the many challenges that the Shabaka TLD will address. And there are causes to Arabicize the internet, if you will, and there are also, to a greater extent, other causes to reinstate the Arabic language as the primary language. We've seen that here in the UAE and in Egypt and Saudi Arabia. The internet speaks English. All the domain names are in English, the majority of content is in English, and the challenge for us is to make sure that Arabic-speaking internet users get access to an internet that speaks their language. Now, this is the biggest thing here is being able to get a domain name in the Arabic language. So, for example, you can get akhbar.shabaka, and that means that you can actually type that in to your address bar and access Arabic content using an Arabic script domain name.
The Ministry of Health met with local pharmaceutical factories to promote further investment into the industry, as well as support local factories and divert the production of 940 drugs. The meeting was attended by Dr. Amin Al-Amiri, the Assistant Undersecretary for Medical Practices and Licensing in the UAE, and Chairman of the Drugs Pricing and Registration Committee. At the meeting, the Ministry of Health issued a decision to allow all companies to present their documents before the end of the innovative patent product of the same pharmaceutical drug. Al-Amiri stated that the factories will be allowed to import active substances for the purposes of research, development and bioequivalence studies, after obtaining the necessary approval on condition that the factory will be fully responsible for any violations of registered patent rights in the UAE. The decision comes in support of national industries and calls on them to present their files before the final date of patent rights for all similar pharmaceutical drugs. The factories are also encouraged to provide their medical research and clinical studies before the end of the date. UAE industries are allowed to promote and register the product after the final date of patent rights for international innovative drug types. Dates are a staple food during the holy month, and the Liwa Date Festival in Abu Dhabi's western region is promising to highlight this special fruit, its benefits and uses, as well as bring in new surprises this year. The prize money for the festival's 9th edition is estimated at 5 million dirhams, according to organisers, which will be divided among 205 participants. In addition to the usual award categories, which include Al-Kunazi, Al-Khalas, Al-Dabas and the biggest fruit bunch, there will also be 3 rounds dedicated to those who have never won in the previous editions. Organisers say this will encourage other farmers to further improve and raise the bar for date farming. Other local produce will also be on display, as well as a variety of date products and the latest innovations employed by the local date farmers. It will also feature activities for the family, particularly children, as well as competitions and workshops from the 18th of July until the 25th. And finally, looking to other news now, the Damascene Mahmal, a 120-year-old religious treasure, is currently in Dubai and is taking centre stage at the Dubai Mall. The temporary fixture is here to coincide with Ramadan and is on display at the Dubai Mall Souk Atrium from July the 9th to August the 15th. The Mahmal is crafted out of ornate silver and gold calligraphy on silk, and was designed for camelback and used to carry the kiswa of the Holy Kaaba in Mecca. It was originally commissioned by Sultan Abdul Hamid II of the Ottoman Empire, who reigned from 1876 AD to 1909 AD. A French designer, artist and modern and ancient art enthusiast, Alexandre J, is the man behind the brand who wanted to share his vision with the world.